Hello everyone, this is me, TimeLiarG, and welcome to another Dark Souls video. I had a comment on my coziest places and areas video, and someone wanted to see the strangest or weirdest areas in Dark Souls, so I'm going to be giving a tour of some odd spots. You can go on a journey together and just find some oddities in certain areas, or, you know, if the area itself is the oddity. So I hope you all enjoy. You can feel free to subscribe and stick around. You of course don't have to. You can also write your own comments on what you think of these areas, or if you have your own areas to talk about. And that'll be that. So I'm going to go on to the first area now, and I will see you guys there. Now this is an area that always intrigued me. It's the area right after the Moonlight Butterfly Arena, and the reason why it intrigues me is because it just leads to nowhere. Of course, you get the Divine Ember here, which is another question entirely of why there's a Divine Ember inside this tower here, or what this tower actually is in the history of the game. So let me climb up this staircase here. And this is where the petrified blacksmiths are, which are strange in themselves. Just these petrified blacksmiths. Who knows what happened to them? It's not like there's any basilisks in this area or anything. And you just have some little workshop here on the top of the tower. It's actually pretty cozy. It's a pretty cozy area. I kind of doubt the Moonlight Butterfly froze him like this. It's even weird that the Moonlight Butterfly is here, since it's a creation of Seath. I think I've read a few lore theories online about this around when the game was released, because people were theorizing on this area a lot. You can kind of get a... I wouldn't call this really a strange or cozy kind of view. Neither of those. It's just kind of... You don't really have too much of a view up here, to be fair. But this area itself definitely is very strange. It's so far away from the rest of the world as well. For all the research I've done, I haven't seen any proof of this, but I always felt like this area was unfinished as well, as if it would have led somewhere else. Because, you know, having this entire place just for an Ember, an entire boss fight as well, it really does feel like this would have led somewhere else. I don't really see anywhere else it could lead in the distance. Maybe across here, over that piece of land. It's just a little bit odd. I see that there's windows over there, actually. I haven't paid attention to those before. And it looks like there's another tower that you don't actually visit. I might go fly over there and check that out then. So there's nothing inside this building, sadly, although this area does look very cool. It kind of looks like an early 2000s album cover. Like just this, you know, these floating bricks, the floating windows, and the moon in the background. The color of the sky, everything looks very, very nice around here. You can actually see the windows are covered up with something as well. And you can actually see those with binoculars too. At least I think you can. Maybe not. Next up is the Valley of Drakes. That's where I'm heading right now. And this area itself, the entire area, is actually very strange. Because aside from it being some kind of hub with a whole bunch of connected pathways, it always felt like there was supposed to be something more here. Here's one that I talked about before in one of my other Dark Souls Mysteries, Oddities, and Urban Legends videos, but this is the gigantic door in the Valley of the Drakes. This is probably one of the strangest areas in the game. Nobody knows where it really leads to. I've heard theories online saying that it leads to Ulasil, and the reason why it's blocked with rubble is because, you know, Ulasil was dragged into the abyss. There's probably some type... This rubble probably just fell out, and you know, the pathway that would have led to Ulasil is completely blocked off. By the way, I would actually love to see Ulasil in the future, in present time here. You know, after it got taken by the Abyss. I'd assume that there's still some buildings laying around here and there, right? Unless the entire thing quite literally just vanished into the Abyss. That was one of the theories I've heard on this door. There was a few other theories. And if you actually get very close to this door, I showed this off before, like I said, but if you get very close to this door, you can actually hear some type of unique ambient sound that sounds like breathing coming from the other side, which is very strange. There was a lot of thought put behind this, so this must mean something. I have no idea what these things are, by the way. I don't know if this was for a door that was supposed to be here at one point. Might have possibly been for a door. Now, the real reason why I actually came to the Valley of the Drakes was to visit this small little alcove right here, if you want to call it that. This one pathway in the ground down there where you get the one humanity from. I know I brought this up before, but it is very strange that there's just a tunnel with a single humanity in it. And normally they don't really do that too often for items, especially for a humanity. Normally it would be some sort of key item like an ember. But there is a carved tunnel inside there with a body inside that has a humanity on it. I love it when a developer takes their time to actually make a path or a new area for a seemingly insignificant item, or maybe for no item at all, just a little area that doesn't really serve a purpose. That's why I like older MMOs a lot. There's just these areas that, you know, it's for an RP kind of a purpose, but it's also just there to, you know, add world building. Everything doesn't need to have a purpose in a video game. You know, I could talk about how strange it is that Witch Beatrice's armor is on a ledge over here for seemingly no reason, implying that she perished there, which who knows how that happened. Oh, that's not creepy at all or anything. Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, he's having a good time up there. This is the second area I was going to be talking about here before I got interrupted, so... This is the second Archtree of the area. It's a fallen Archtree. I always thought that looked like a face over there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But there's really nothing to talk about with this. I'm not going to have too much to talk about here. It's just a fallen Archtree with really nothing inside of it. There's a couple of items in here. I don't actually remember which ones they are. So as I've said, there's nothing really to see inside here. There's just a couple of items. There's just a couple of items laying around. And that's pretty much it. If you look above, there's nothing above this area. Like I said, this is a fallen Archtree. You can't scale it like the Great Hollow. And it's just kind of a relaxing area. If you take away the basilisk, if you take away the mushroom, you know, it's a very relaxing and cozy area. I probably should have included this in another cozy area video. I can't actually... Oh, there we go. Managed to get out of this. And you have this little back portion right here as well. Very cool area, though. This is what I mean when I say that, you know, I absolutely love when developers add just places like this just to explore, just for the sake of exploring, for the role-playing purpose. You know, these are RPG games that I mostly talk about on my channel. So, for an RPG to actually have, you know, RP role-playing elements, that's a very good thing. That's very cool. A lot of games are missing that now. How developers think in modern games is that they think that everything must have a purpose behind it. Everything must have a reason to exist because it's... I want to say that a lot of them are rushed. You know, a lot of them don't realize why people play video games. A lot of modern games aren't made by, you know, people that play games. They're made, you know, a lot of them are made by political activists. And here's what the bottom floor looks like. There's nothing really to see down here except for the area itself. It just looks like the Great Hollow, except it's just another stump. And here's this other exit over here as well. It's actually hidden behind this wall of ash. Let me head outside a little bit, get a better view of the thing. There we go. Thank you all for watching my video on the strangest or weirdest places in Dark Souls, and I apologize for the shorter video this time. I was going to make a longer one, but I'll save that for a part 2, so feel free to subscribe, and you can also feel free to write a few comments down if you want to. You of course don't have to, like I say every time, but aside from that, thank you all for watching.